Where is this screen share? So yeah, good evening all. My name is Madhu, and this video is regarding about the certification exam from Medioda, and the project title is Kafene uh, management system, and I'm going to show you that how I build this project, and where I have stored the files, and what are the web pages and everything about this. So let's go into the video. So I have stored in this thing. I'm opening with the Google Chrome. So yeah, this was the project which I have done. So our project mainly consists of 4 web pages. First one is the sign-in page, and the orders page, products page, and the users page. So it's mainly consists of 4 pages. So as we can see, same like this. So index page is nothing but this sign-in page itself, and orders page. This was the orders page, and the products page here, and the users page. And the functionality works on the sign-in page was we need to take we need to enter the user credentials here. So whatever it may be the credentials, but that both should be the same. So in this case, we have implemented like this. So let's take this thing. So let's say I have entered Madhu here, and I have entered this, and I have entered the same password. So whatever it may be, this two will not be different. These two should be the same. And after this, login, enter the login. So as you can see here, there is an alert here, login successful. If this both username and the password is different, it will not be login. So so as you can see here, after the login, it will take you to this order page. So in this order page, we have implemented this data, and this data is come from the backend itself, from the API. And here we have implemented the filter option here. So whenever we click on the new, so let's say all these are unchecked. So let's say suppose if I click on new, it will only show the new status objects. So here after that, I have clicked on that package. I will check on that pack. So here we can see the reason packed objects. So the similar way has been occurred for all these things. So as we click on this, there is also a content here. We can see that. And let's move to the next page, orders page. And for this orders page itself, whenever we click on the order page, it will directly get the data from the back API itself. So after the expert, after we click on the expert, it will show you the low stock object. So when we click on this expert object, it will show the expert. So this is the filter option. So here also we can see the count thing. So next let's see the users page. So whenever it's also the same thing. Whenever we click on the users page, it will get the data from the API. So whenever this was the users page. So whenever we click on this thing, so whenever the user, suppose let's say I'm going to search for the this user. So let's say I'm going to search for this. Sorry. I'm going to search for this user and click on enter. Sorry, there isn't something wrong here. Let me check. Let me check with this user. See, whenever I click on the enter, we'll get this page. So whenever I click on this reset object, reset button, the search value will be empty, and the user's data will occur here again. So there is also a logout option here. So whenever we click on the logout option, the data stored in the local storage, when we click, when we given the username at the starting, the whole thing will be removed from the local storage. So this is mainly about the project, and let's see the code that how I built this project. Uh, as I said that before, our project mainly consists of 4 web pages, and as we can see here, index.html and index.js and orders.html and orders.js and products.html and product.js, user.css and the users.html and css. We have you may get the doubt that why there is no css file is a file for these things. So as we can see in the project that all of these uh, for every web page there is an navbar here, and there is an this data here. So for every page there is an filters data, and this is an table data for all these web pages. As you can see here, there is mainly two styles. So first one is the navbar, and the second one is this data. So that's why I have created an base CSS for all these web pages. So that was these things. So that was these things. So common main.css and then common styles.css. This common main data.css means this data is for this code is for uh, all the all the data which we have entered, which we have entered this data here. Sorry, I'm suffering with the dengue fever. So, yeah. And there is another CSS file here, and this is for the navbar. And these two CSS files has been added to all of these HTML pages. So this was the main thing. This was the main thing which have structured the CSS file web page. And let's first of all let's check the index.html page. So here I have taken this HTML. In this HTML, as I said before, this is a common style. I have linked with the common styles.css, as you can see here, and I have created this login form. And I have added some of the CSS file in this in the header tag of the index.html page. Because we have not added that this thing, we have not added the form page. As we can see before, we have not added that form page username dot password in the common main.css. That's why we have created an inline sorry, internal CSS. So this code is for all of that thing. We have seen that login form, and let's see the HTML code for this. This is the header, and it mainly consists of the it mainly consists of the nav bar tags, and this was the login form. That username dot value, as we can see, enter your username and enter your password. So these things are all been structured in the form. Okay, so let's see the index.js JavaScript for this uh, login form. So here we have created and we have created a ready method for this jQuery. So as we can see, this was the ready method for this jQuery, and this is the main tag for the jQuery. We can use it, and the status, we have created the status here, and for the status we have taken this window.local storage get item login status. So so we have whenever the user entered the data, it will created with the JSON object. So and that has to be stored in the login form. So if the status equal to true, that means if the status equal to true, uh, the window dot location stores replace the Windows location with the orders.html. So whenever it got true, then it will directly takes and then it will directly uh, replace with orders.html. So it will directly takes this orders page. Else yes, you can see after if it is not going to be true, then we have taken the form option here. From this form, you can see this was the form here. Sorry, yeah, we have taken this login form. Whenever the login form has been created, when we calling the form object from the by using jQuery, and whenever the user click on the submit, it will take an inbuilt function value. Yes, this was an function value here, and so here username and password, the user will give the username here, and we are doing with the DOM document.getElement by ID, and we have taken this value here, and if these two values are true, uh, as you can see, if these two values are true, the all of this will post into the local storage. Okay, this will post into the local storage, or else it will so it will show please enter and valid credentials. So if we if, if this username and password are both are different, then it will show this valid credentials. So this was the main JS file for both the for for HTML sorry for the login form. And next let's see the orders page, orders for HTML. So as we can see here, the same header, this is the navbar which I have seen before, and this was the orders page. orders page or data. This was the orders page or data main headings, and we have taken into the input name. And as we have seen before, there is an check filter filters. So this was the thing we have created this from this. So we have taken the filters here and id filters count. So we have also seen the count before, and this was the count. And we have taken this label, and in the label we have taken the input, and we have taken the new. So as you can see, this was the thing. So order start page now. So this was the thing which I'm going to this was the thing which I'm going to is explaining. And we are giving a new packed in transit and delivered. And we have also taken this uh, id called table div, and as we can see the data is in the form of table, right? I'm sorry, this data is in the form of table. So that's why we have taken the table but table here. And in the table we have created the trth, and we are going to append our data to this table itself. So that's why we have taken this. And this was the headings. th is nothing but headings now. These are the headings, and this was the body here. So this was the body. So let's see about the orders.js. So we have taken the this now. If status dot get item is true, then we are going to fetch the data from the this API, orders.api. So this was the API which we are fetching the data, orders data from this API itself. Okay, so and here we are using this then function then, and we are taking the response. So this was the response here. That means we are getting the data in this response, and in the function itself, and in the function we are taking data as an argument, and order data is equal to data. So if we are getting this data is equal to order data, then we are calling this function. So create table row. So uh, this will create, sorry, this function will create the table row. So immediately whenever there is a call for this data, it will directly takes it will directly execute this data. It will directly execute this piece of code. Okay, so it will create and get checked. So actually this was an checked actually this was an check filters option. So I'm going to explain this data later. I'm going to explain this piece of code later. First of all, let's check this data here. So whenever create a table row here, the data will be an argument, and in this function, a table body. So table body. So this was a table body here, and this HTML will show you will get empty, and after that it will take. After that it will take. It will perform the for loop, and it will show the length of the data from the API, and if and then it will split the date with this hyphen, and then table body dot append. So it is going to append all of this data. So it will append this tr, and it will append this td and all of this data. And attr means we have created an attribute, and we are creating a text html, and we have created an attr, and we have created a class, and then our class name is dim color. So all of this so whenever we call this function, this piece of code data will be got executed, and this piece of code will create the card. So this was the code. This piece of code will create this card. Okay. And next it will create the counter also. So the counter, and we are calling the counter here with the jQuery, and this counter dot text with the data length. So whenever we are calling, we are answering this, see all of these things will be gone. So it will create the length matter. So it will create length. So that's why it is an 83. Data dot length. So count will depends upon the data dot length. So whenever we click on the login button, it will delete the local storage will become false, and it will open the index.html. It will replace the index.html. So I will explain this piece of code later. This filter data, okay. And let's check this product .html. I'm sorry, I'm suffering with the dengue fever, so that's why. So after we click on this product.html page, this will be the product.html page. Okay. So here also the same, has a style format, and we have added the common styles, and we have added common main.css, and we are taking this product.js as well. And this was the header tag, as we can see before. As we have seen before, this was the main header tag. This consists of navbar. And in this main tag, and in this main, I have created this div, and this was the products, filters, and the count tag here, id count, and I have created the filters option as well. So this label dot, and I have created this label dot and input, and in this input I have taken this all of this checked. So all of these inputs are from the check filter options that was checked, and I have taken the three things here, expired and the low stock. So this was the same thing for the filter options. And now we have taken this table div also. This was the table div. Okay, this was the table div, and let's move to the product.js product page JavaScript. Okay. So whenever the ready whenever the login status is true, it will create an table data. Okay. And we have count is as I said before, the count is data dot length, and table data is equal to data. and table map. So this table dot map will maps to the item. So whenever it will call, whenever it will execute, this function will get execute. Okay, so this function will get execute. So this was the data getting from the backend. So whenever the table data is equal to true, it will execute this code. Okay, it will execute this piece of code for the products page. As we can see, the table body append and then tr append. So as you can see, this table will get all of this uh, uh, data, table data, and it will create the class. It will create the attributes and it will create the class, and it will this id is from the backend and this id is from the backend itself. Okay, so let's see the filter options here. Let's see the filter options, and this was the filter option logic. Whenever we are getting this thing, so whenever it got changed, so it will, whenever it will toggle, it will get checked. So it will get checked. Okay, so whenever it is true, that the table body becomes html, and then a count will get the text. So this was the text, and it will create this table data dot length. Okay, so for this count, uh, as we have seen before, the count was table data dot length, and this table data map uh, maps to the item, and it will row making. So row making item, and will again creates this, and whenever we have got this got this function, it will generate this piece of code. Okay, and for next, for the low stock. So when the same way for the low stock as well. So whenever it got changed, whenever it got true, this was then check property. This was a property for the uh, checkbox. Whenever it got true, it will get the HTML empty, and count will be of course its length, and then it will again perform this piece of code. Okay, and let's see for the expert as well. So whenever we click on the expert, the same way happens. It will get all of these things true, and it will again create this data, and it will again create these things. And if nothing happens, the table dot body is html true. Okay, and this is for the data. This is for the date, and this is for the date, today set hours. And whenever we click on, whenever we use this table dot length, we need to thread the loop over this, and it will get the expiry date. Okay, so whenever it got the expiry date, if variable data is greater than today, is less than today, then it will push this data to the expired items. Okay, and same for the checked as well. So whenever you call the filter option, it will call this row function. Okay, so video dot and then we have seen before that logout, whenever you click on the logout, it will set the local storage to false, and it will set the h reference to index.html page, and it will create, and it will get the it will get the login form. Okay, So this was a whole thing about this products.html page, and and let's see about this users.html page. And for this users.html page, we are not uh, we have created another function, another CSS file here, because we need to uh, we need to add the functionality of this user search by name. So that's why we have created another CSS file for this. Okay. So so whenever we have created this, this was the thing, as we seen before, this was the nav items, nav bar, nav bar items, and this was the main thing. This was the uh, D for search input button and the reset button, as we have seen here. Okay, type reset, and we have taken the type search, and we have taken this also as well. Main content dot padding and the ID called table div. Okay, same as we had done before. Okay, and this was the thing, as we have seen before. It will get the data from the backend whenever the local storage is status equal to true. It will get the data from the backend, and will create the row making. So here it will take the two attributes. So in before it will take only the one attribute, one argument. So here it will taking the two attributes. Okay. So for these two attributes, the data will be split with hyphen, and and as we have seen before, that this table body will append this thing. Okay, will append this tr td as well, as we have seen before. The same thing happens here as well. And so whenever we click on the reset button, so search button dot value. So whenever we click on the reset button, the value should be get empty. The value should be get empty, and table dot map. So it will map the item and the position, and it will again create, and it will again take to this. It will again create this thing. So whenever the form is got submitted, uh, document dot get element by id dot value, search box dot value. Uh, the length should be, if the length should be is less than 2, then it will show that please enter at least 2 characters. So it should be greater than the 2 characters. Okay, and then it will again takes you to this page, and it will again takes you to this function. Okay, and if the table body dot html equal to 2, else. So whenever it is less than 2, it will perform this code. It will perform this piece of code, and if it is greater than 2, then it will perform this piece of code. Okay. We have got the JSON stringify. So we have got the objects in the form of a string, and we have again converted this string to an object. And for this form, we have created an for loop, and for this t data, we have a key. This in the key means it is it is getting it is getting the object. Okay, so if it is greater than -1, it will perform this row making table dot I. Okay, so I will again takes you to the piece of code, and it will create the data. So whenever we click on the logout button, this thing will get false, and it will returns to this index.html. So this was the piece of code which I have done, and we have also have a few more questions, and let's see that questions as well. So yeah, this was the question. So how did you implement the filter functionality on the order listing page? So as I said before, I will explain it later now. So this was the thing. Okay. And whenever I click on the orders.js, this was the thing, right? Filters option. So before we have taken the filter got empty array, and we have called this filter options, and we have created this filter uh, filter function, filter or options function. So whenever we have also iterated the for loop. So whenever mm, it is greater than 4. So why we have taken 4 means uh, we have taken four like options, right? So in the, sorry, where was this? We have taken this four. You can see there is a 4. So that's why we have created up to 4. Okay. And then I plus plus and check status document dot get element by ID. So over here we have taken an I option here. So because we we are given an ID here. See the check -3. So that means with this we are calling that ID. Okay. So whenever it got true, that filter data is equal to check the check status dot name. Okay. And check items is equal to order data and filter data. So the filter data will get empty array. So whenever we click on the check button, so whenever we click on this on, it means on means click option in the jQuery. So whenever we click on the whenever we click on it, it will get changed and the function filter options. So it will get this thing. It will again call this function, and it will again run this thing. And okay. So whenever the change occurred, this will get performed. This option will get performed. Okay. So function dot check dot get items order and the filter data. So this means we have created and get check items. So it will, whenever there is an call for this function, so it will directly get this order data and the filter data. Okay. Also the data will be an order data, and then check data rows equal to data dot filter and the function store. So it will store the order status. Okay. So this was the whole thing about and filter option using, sorry, filter option in the orders page. Okay. And we have also another question here, search functionality. I think I have explained it before. I will explain it later. So this was the check option here. See, this was the reset option. So whenever we click on the reset option, sorry, this was the search option. So whenever the search dot length equal to dot length is less than 2, it will show you and this thing, and it will take you to this map page. Okay. So it will total data dot map into item dot position. Okay. So then it will call this function item dot position. So whenever item dot position is called, it will go to this thing. So this was the thing. So whenever it is greater than 2, then it will perform this table dot for loop, and it will create the data. Okay. It will create the data from all these uh, things. Okay. So this was the whole thing about such option. And let's see. Another question is there. Uh, can you please explain what is hosting and hosting in JavaScript? So hosting means declaration of variables. Hosting in JavaScript means a default behavior of moving declarations to the top. So it is nothing but whenever we assigning the variables before it got declared, then it will be it will get hosting. So and the uh, hosting will supported only for the JavaScript, and it will not support for any other any other programming languages. So let's see some examples before. Let's see some examples here. So see, in this hosting, I have taken this where a equal to a string of a, and let b equal to string of b, and const is equal to string of c. So let's uncomment this, and if we taken see, since we are using this where it will it will support the hosting. So the let and the const will not support the hosting. Okay, so whenever we have used the function, this will also support the hosting. So because it will also support the hosting, and this will not support the hosting because this is we have assigning an variable to this function, so that's why it will not support the hosting. And so yeah, that's it. So first we can use this number, and later we can create this uh, first of all we can create this data, and then we can use it. Okay, and the concept of using variables and then function events before they are created is called hosting, I think. So yeah, that's about this project, and I have answered this all these three questions, and and I have also explained all of these things. So yeah, thank you so much.